What is up, folks? Smog from OneHive Genesis back with a brand new video. This is going to be the second how-to video I've done on the channel, and it's going to be how to Dragloon at Town Hall 8. I've got some great replays to show you from the OneHive yellow-black scrim we had. One side was air, one side was ground. So obviously I've got some replays from the air side. And the good thing about this strategy is going forward, we obviously seen the new update notes that have been released today, so we know there's going to be poison changes. The good thing is this strategy shouldn't be affected at all. It's still going to be very useful, still going to work on the right bases, because currently it's still underutilized at Town Hall 8, but I'm hoping the replays that I do have, we're going to outline it, break it down, and show you exactly how it can overpower bases at Town Hall 8. I'll be right back with the replays. Okay, folks, so the first replay I'm going to show you is on this basis, Joshua versus Jamie, right at the bottom of the map here. And as you can see, the base isn't maxed, but for the strategy employed here, it honestly wouldn't have mattered. You can see the base design itself is quite a good anti-3 style. The air defences are pretty well protected on the whole. Probably weakest down here at kind of 6-7 o'clock, and that is how Joshua ends up beating this base. But you can see the other two air defences are really well positioned, well defended. So he's obviously going to start with you kind of know how this works. He's got the two lightnings, Quake, which he's going to put on this AD in here. But then he's got the haste, which is very important. You can bring a poison or a haste, but really you don't need the poison. And with the update, this won't change either, because if you aim to get your dragons in, taking out the CC, that they will work fine under rage. It's just the success in this raid is making sure you funnel your dragons properly. So he's picked to lightning this AD here, because this AD, although it's surrounded by high hit point structures, it's a much easier funnel because you can funnel in off this elixir pump up here, and of course down here right into that area, cause a high value rage because he's going to pull the CC and engage it right at the same time, so he can get huge value from rage spell there. And then the key thing to note is how he uses his loons, which we'll watch later in the raid to take out the last AD, because it's a complete overkill. So let's go ahead and watch it. Okay, so he does his Zap Quakes first. You can either do this at the start or as the raid progresses. Then drops his King for tanking, followed by 2 dragons to funnel. A couple of dragons on the other side. He's still got 4 dragons in the bag. Drops 1 out wide funnel, and the rest, the 3 remaining, right down the throat there, because they're going to funnel right into the Town Hall, right where he wants them to go. The CC dragon is lured, which is perfect, and there goes the rage spell right down. So he's got probably 5 dragons or so in that rage spell, and they are going to, of course, work through that dragon and then into the AD. Now he did drop his king at the beginning. Sometimes that's good to do. Interesting how he does it here. But again, you can use it for your loons, to tank for your loons, but we'll again see how this progresses. So like we said, the raid's been chucked down. The dragons are going to make quick work of the clan castle there, and then move in to the AD. That has gone quickly. They're obviously coming away from the sweep here. You can see the sweeper is ineffective, facing the other way. So that will have made, in his planning, he would have gone for that as well. You can see some Teslas begin to pop, but the loon deployment is great. It's targeted. There's the haste, so they're going to haste right into that AD, and that is the benefit of bringing the haste. And you can see the value that the loons and the CC loons end up getting. They're eating up black bombs, eating up air traps, taking down these Teslas. Would have been the same deal if these were max defenses. I'm entirely sure. And then he's got the remaining dragons working around the outside of the base. And the key in this attack is using your loons effectively, helping pick off those anti-air defenses and keeping your dragons up and doing cleanup. His kings obviously come through the centre of the base here, which you don't normally see. Normally see him kind of off around the side cleaning up with this kind of attack. But there you can see the raid is completed. and that is going to be 3 stars. So great job to Joshua. We're going to get into now a couple of raids by on a Bender. He's back from the grave, and he's showing us some more dragon raids. So I'll be back in just a second. Okay, so as promised, we're back with Bender, and he has got a slightly different army comp. He's got 8 loons, 8 dragons, and those loons, those extra loons, he's got those 4 extra loons are just going to be used to pick off defences, help his dragons along, get them moving where he wants to go, and genuinely just getting the DPS off them. So if we look at the base, you can see the sweeper positioning is kind of interesting out here. It's covering most of the base from the kind of westerly direction. So Bender does not want to attack from that angle. He doesn't want to come in from the sweeper, and it's probably why he ends up zapping this AD at the top here, because he doesn't want his dragons coming in from anywhere up there. He doesn't want them to be affected by the sweeper. So he's actually going to funnel his dragons in on this AD in the middle, the hardest one to get to. But the funnel is actually fairly more simple from this side. It's easier to cut because, without these kind of double layers up here, you can see all those camps and stuff like that. Slightly harder to funnel and work dragons in there. And then you can see this air defense is the most exposed. So you can just feed loons in off the cannon there. They're going to go straight in on that AD and take it out quickly. Obviously, this is quite a difficult base to... there's a lot to think about to hog it the first time. There's plenty of different possible double giant bomb spots on the base. So definitely want to look out for air. Let's go and see how Bender does it. Speed up at the beginning. I think it takes a little while for him to get going. But there we go. There the zaps goes down. Then comes the dragons. On the flanks first, he's got a really nice wide funnel here. He's only got 8 dragons, but he's going to force most of them where he wants them to go. You can see Tesla's popping. He's already put some loons down just to kind of take out some defences, force the dragons inside. There goes the rage. And he's only got 2 dragons here that are actually going to head for that AD, so he gets one on them. Kind of fortunate, but the funneling was nice to get that job done. Did have some loons lurking. But here we go, the rest of the loons coming in on targeted defences. They're going to make sure these CC loons go exactly where I want them to go. You see how he had his king down there to tank the archer tower. And he's got dragons just around the outside of the base. Those loons come in really nice. And they're going to stay up, and they're key because they are defence targeting, and they're going to go to those defences. And at Town Hall 8, there's really not enough DPS to take out such a wad of loons this big. And you can see how much work they actually get done, while the rest of the dragons are cleaning up the rest of the base with the king. The king's hardly touched there. His job is purely just to do a bit of tanking, do a bit of cleanup. Last archer tower goes down, and then the loons are on cleanup. He's still got 5 or so loons there, so it's a great job, great use of loons. Don't go stingy on your loons, guys. Some of you, will go with, mass dragons, but loons are so useful because they're defense targeting. You can really pick off those, those areas, or the key defenses on the base. So great raid by Bender. We'll be back in just a second with his last one. Alright folks, so here we are with the last base, and as you can see we've moved up to the top tier of Town Hall 8 with a maxed out 55k base. Important thing to note about this base is this AD over here is the most exposed. That's the one that Bender is going to look to loon. You can see his army comp. He's got the 9 dragons this time, the 4 camp loons, and the maxed out balloons in the clan castle. But Anoob's done something pretty cheeky with this base. He's actually got all 4 of his red mines protecting this air defense down here, so kind of a bit of a trap. And all of Bender's loons end up collapsing and not getting that AD at the end. But you can see the strength of this attack is actually in how he uses his camp loons and how he deploys his dragons. And you can see the way this sweeper is positioned up here. You'd expect Bender to come in from kind of the 6 o'clock to the 3 o'clock side, possibly zap this one in the middle here. But he ends up doing it a bit differently. but it works all the same. So let's go and have a look at how he ends up finishing this one off. So he starts pulling his dragons first, which is actually a much quicker way of doing the raid. You don't have to drop your zaps straight away. But in this instance, it does actually hurt him a bit. His dragon funnel is nice, and they work in towards this first AD pretty nicely. But you'll see in a minute. At this point, he could have zapped the other AD. They're moving in towards this one nicely. They've taken a few bombs. They take care of the CC dragon nicely, but on the flanking side, the king is tanking for 3-point defense with the loons in behind. But you can see there, the air defense was getting shots off before it was taken down. Now he waits until this one is being tanked, and then he brings in the maxed out CC loons from behind, thinking they're going to get in there easy. He hastes them in, just like we've seen before, but all 4 of those air mines just collapse and take him out. But because of the strength of his deployment with these other loons, they've taken out paint defences, and these dragons are going to be pushed over. He's still got 6 up at this point, 5 now, 4 now, but they're going to get over to that last AD and take it out. And because of the loon deployment, there's only 1 air targeting defense still left up, 4 dragons, and there's not enough defense to worry the rest of the dragons, and they're going to take out the rest of the base. So quite an interesting angle he took in the end, but you can see how if you keep your dragons together, take out the defences, the troublesome defences with those loons, kind of target them, needle style, very important to target the right defences, you can still work it out. And just think if that last air defence hadn't been booby-trapped, how it would have worked out for Bender. But some really great raids. Hope this taught you a bit about using Dragloon in particular. There are obviously different variants of this. You can use hogs to the same effect. But that is all for how to Dragloon at Town 8. See you guys in the next one. This has been Smorg. Over and out.